Now, if you've ever watched Black Flags Matter, you know about a specific series that had NASCAR busts never exist would have actually been my favorite series. Bad Seasons. I don't know why, but I just watching videos of people talking about really bad seasons for particular drivers. Now he's only done a few of them in the last few months. So I want to try it out for myself with my own video. Now there's going to be actually a 3-parter, and it's going to revolve around one driver. Kasey Kahne. Now, Kasey Kahne, I'm not saying he's a horrible driver, but he was definitely the weak link at Hendrick Motorsports. For example, this clip I'm showing you right now is from 2014. Now, 2014, to a lot of Hendrick fans, might be a landmark year, because it was really kind of the last year Jeff Gordon was dominant, and this was Dale Jr. was pretty much finally back to his competitive self. And the team between the three drivers of Dale Jr., Jimmy Johnson, and Jeff Gordon won a combined 12 races. But Kasey Kahne, this clip from Atlanta was his one lone win. Coming into 2015, Kasey Kahne was easily the 4th best driver in Hendrick Motorsports right now. But little did anyone know that he would have a fall off. This is Bad Seasons, Kasey Kahne, 2015. And this is actually part 1 of a 3-parter around the same driver. Part 1 is, like I just said, 2015. Part 2 will be 2016. And part 3, the final part, will be 2017. Now, it's important to mention that Kasey Kahne's season actually started off pretty good. The first 7 races, he had 3 top 5s and 1 top 10. However, it would not last.
Very long.
Trouble! Back straight away. Pow! Inside, outside wall.
No.
Allmendinger and Kane.
Oh, no.
Casey Mears gets caught. So does Martin Truex.
It is. See, here's the 5 back here.
Tony Stewart right in the middle.
Looks like 14 got into the 5 and shot him into the 47 of Allmendinger, and it was on from there from those two. But then I think they come back up in the racetrack.
Oh, yes.
Right there. Here comes.
Yep, Casey Mears.
Casey Mears. Here comes Martin Truex. Here comes Brett Moffitt. The laps are winding down now under caution. Yeah, he only picked up 1 spot on that run there. Trouble back straight away, guys. Car around.
Trevor Bayne.
A number of cars
And
involved.
more. Logano is in it.
Crashing all. Oh, man. Look at that.
Looked like half the field piled up on lap 47. The bottom into the right.
Gosh, the 6 just started to turn all by itself. I mean, but Darryl, do you think the 27 car being out there on the outside, it just
wall he went?
Wow.
And once Landon Castle gets sideways to the field.
Miss Sprint Cup as the big one's happening once again, coming out of turn number 4. Into the wall, Kyle Larson. Multiple cars sideways. Martin Truex Jr., a lot of damage to the front end of his car. Eric Almirola also involved. There's Kyle Larson. Damage to the front end. Once again, coming out of turn number 4, a tricky spot on this track. Kasey Kahne, who was running up front all day, a lot of damage to the right front. Eric Almirola. already in the garage. The Smithfield Ford had been running well. And now in the garage, Kyle Larson will have to make his way into the garage as well. This is why.
We've seen this time and time again. The 20 tries to come down on the 5. I don't know if he actually makes contact with the 5 or just the air gets him loose. Man, and then it's just a mess, right? When you have trouble in front of that many cars, there's just nowhere to go. You see the 9 spinning, trying to avoid it. Once the smoke is that thick, there's just nowhere to go.
All these cars behind them right now, they're just trying to find somewhere to go, but there just never is. You just keep piling in. You're on the brakes. The guys behind you are running into you. You know, it's just a big. This is plate racing. This is what we talk about. This is what the drivers fear.
Right along with Tony Stewart. Oh, we got one moving into the. We saw this on pit road early. Kasey Kahne hits the inside wall and knocks it down. Saw some guys' helmets that were sitting up there. So a problem with Kasey Kahne's car. Goes onto pit road and the caution's out.
We saw this Saturday in practice, almost identical to that. We talked about how rare it is that it can happen. It's happened twice in 2 days. He's coming off turn 3, approaching the front straightaway. You can see Kasey's all by himself, gets loose. Same thing we saw with Jeff Burton the other day, almost in the same tread marks. Can't get the car all the way spun out. Now, I'll be honest with you, he's long for the ride, trying to keep from hitting the inside wall, but there's just no stopping it at this point.
And as you mentioned, 2 days in a row now, we have seen something similar to this. As I mentioned, some of the things that were sitting on pit road, crew members will put their helmets on pit road waiting before they have to go out there for a pit stop. And we've seen on these replays some things flying, one of those being a helmet. And
You can see why, right?
And into the wall once again. The 5 of Kasey Kahne, this time a lot of damage. That will bring the caution out for the 3rd time.
You have to wonder, Rick, you got in the wall earlier, they thought they had a flat right front tire. This here, as hard as this impact is right here, I am already asking myself, did he have another right front tire problem, perhaps?
Yeah, there was a lot of damage from the first incident. The sheet metal was really torn up on it. It's quite possible they rubbed a hole in the side of the tire.
Very unfortunate for Kasey Kahne. Incredible success here at this track. You see he had Hendrick ride along that sweepstakes on the hood this week. Yeah, he said, I hit hard that time.
He sees on the bottom of the racetrack, if you fail a tire, that is not where you want to be. You want to be right against the wall when the tire fails. When you blow that right front tire and it heads up to the wall at that angle, that is a big hit. You know, I feel bad for Kasey and his team. They just can't seem to catch a break. They just can't. They ran really well early in the year, then things started unraveling, and since then it just hasn't stopped.
So Kasey Kahne will have to take the 5 into the garage. Extensive damage to the right side. Last on pit.
Keep up with it.
And the 5 slow on the track, bringing out the caution. Kasey Kahne, the yellow numbers on all of Jeff Gordon's teammates in honor of Jeff Gordon's last race. Kasey Kahne slow on the track.
Right rear.
And the right rear down for Kasey Kahne. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. take a look at what happened with Kasey Kahne.
You see the right rear tires flat. That's a great save by the 5 of Kasey Kahne. And an excellent job by Dale Earnhardt Jr. not getting to the back of him. But the big concern for the 5 is, A, that was great. They stayed out of the wall. But you see the damage to the quarter panel. The team's going to have to try to repair that, make sure the bracing is secure where they don't have another flat tire. That quarter panel.
As you can see right here, this is his stats for the year. 0 wins, 3 top 5s, 10 top 10s, only 66 laps led, an average start of 14.9 and an average finish of 18.1. And although he only had 3 DNFs, he finished 18th in the standings. So yeah, not a very good year considering fact all of his teammates won races. Nose itches. But that's not But out of all of these 3 years I'm going to be covering, this is probably the best season, honestly. Because at least the year started off good. It just slowly got worse and worse. Because watching the videos, pretty much almost all of the bad moments come from the second half of the year. So, yeah, it started good, but it got awful fast. But I guess we'll find that out in Bad Seasons, Kasey Kahne, 2016. Good night.